Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So recently, U.S. Representative John Lewis was on Meet the Press. And when he was on there, he questioned the legitimacy of Donald Trump's presidency. He questioned it in light of U.S. intelligence reports indicating that the Russians tried to influence the election in Donald Trump's favor. And there's been news reports about how the Russians hacked the DNC and hacked the Hillary Clinton campaign and released damaging emails to the public. And anyone who followed the election knows that those emails had an impact on the election. Those emails helped Donald Trump win the election. Anybody who understands politics knows this. Also, there have been reports about how the Russians have dirt on Donald Trump and that they intend to use it in order to compromise him, in order to influence U.S. policy. Also, there were reports about how the Russians worked directly with the Donald Trump campaign so that the Donald Trump campaign could win the election. These are reports that are out there, according to the U.S. intelligence community. And there are questions about whether or not these reports are accurate, but those are the reports out there, and those are the reasons why Representative Lewis doesn't view Donald Trump as a legitimate president. So in response to this, Donald Trump goes on a Twitter tirade, and you would expect more discipline from someone who is the president-elect. You would expect more self-restraint from someone who is the president-elect. You would expect them to behave in a mature and intelligent fashion. But here you have this man, Donald Trump, behaving like a high school kid. Like a kid going on a tirade, disrespecting a civil rights icon during the Martin Luther King holiday weekend. I mean, that's outrageous. And what's even more outrageous than that is the fact that you have African Americans co-signing this stuff. African Americans trashing John Lewis, a civil rights icon, someone who fought so that we could have the right to vote. Donald Trump in his tweet said that John Lewis was all talk and no action and no results. How in the hell could he say something like that? This man is the definition of action. This man was on the front lines in Selma, beaten by the police, arrested by the police. He sacrificed so much so that we could have basic rights that we enjoy today. The right to vote. This brother was on the front lines fighting to end segregation in this country. This brother is on the front lines today in Congress fighting to have laws passed that benefit African American communities and other marginalized communities. But yet Donald Trump has the audacity to trash this man. And this is odd. I mean, given the fact that Donald Trump basically launched the whole birtherism movement in this country. He was one of the main people leading the charge attacking the legitimacy of President Obama, claiming that President Obama is not a U.S. citizen, demanding that the brother produce his birth certificate to prove that he is a U.S. citizen. After doing all that to attack the legitimacy of a real president, of a distinguished president, this man has the audacity to get mad when someone questions his legitimacy. And there are serious questions about his legitimacy. Serious questions. So this man is not fit to be president. And it's a damn shame that the U.S. population voted for this pig to be president. And I'm frankly disgusted that you have these people here on YouTube basically trashing this legend, John Lewis, trashing him, while at the same time defending a pig like Donald Trump, defending a racist like Donald Trump, defending a sexist like Donald Trump, defending a xenophobe like Donald Trump, somebody who's attacked women, attacked Mexicans, attacked Muslims, attacked the disabled, attacked the black community, someone who supports racial profiling, somebody that supports stop and frisk, somebody that's called for law and order when asked about questions of police brutality. This is the man that some of these misguided, confused Negroes are running around here defending and uplifting while they trash their own brother, John Lewis, who fought for our freedom, who fought to make this country live up to its promise of being a democracy. And sometimes I just wonder about the sanity of some of our people. It's really sickening. But my word of advice for John Lewis is don't go in the dirt with Donald Trump. Don't go back and forth with him. He is beneath you. He's not worthy of your time or attention. Donald Trump is a scumbag. And I'm really disgusted that people actually voted for this man. But I want to talk about this question of legitimacy. I think the whole issue of the intelligence reports is a valid issue. The issue of whether or not the Russians influenced the election is valid. Those are valid issues. But I think at this point, we know that Donald Trump is going to be the president of the country. And there's nothing right now that we can do to prevent that. So he's going to have all the powers and influence as president of the United States. I think instead of focusing on questioning his legitimacy, we need to focus on fighting his agenda. We need to make sure that that man does not turn back the clock of progress. We need to fight his appointments to different cabinet posts, especially that appointment to U.S. Attorney General. We need to fight these appointments to the Supreme Court when they come up, or to federal courts when they come up. Because if we don't, the most right-wing and racist elements of this country will be in charge. So it's time for us to stand up and fight. And we should be the ones defending our brother, John Lewis. This brother deserves our defense. This brother is sacrificed for us so that we could have basic human and civil rights in this country. I'll be damned if I'm going to let some douchebag like Donald Trump trash this brother.